Dear students, it is the third video and we are learning about resources, water resources and challenge in Pakistan. In this video, we are going to talk about water utilization. In Pakistan, water is utilized mainly for agriculture, industry and domestic use. Clear? In the first video, we learned about the water resources, that how much water uh, is received in Pakistan by various sources. Clear? And the renewable water resources in Pakistan, for example, Western rivers, 75.1% of the water is received from the rivers. Clear? It is in billion cubic meters. Internal rain of 14.6% billion cubic 14.6% water is received from the rain. Other basins, like the other basins include in the Balochistan, clear, they provide the water almost 4.4%. Rainfall, clear, 4.4%. And the eastern rivers, clear, the eastern rivers are called rivers that flow into India and then the water comes to Pakistan. Ravi, Satluj, clear, they provide almost 1.5%. A very little amount of the water flows into these rivers because most of the water is controlled by India. Western rivers, Indus, Kabul, Jhelum, Chenab, fine, they are called the western rivers. They are called eastern rivers. To remember it आसानी के साथ, जो पंजाब पाकिस्तान के पास है वो मगरबी पंजाब है, जो पंजाब का इंडिया जो इंडिया पंजाब का हिस्सा इंडिया के पास है वो मशरकी पंजाब है. Clear? So these rivers, Ravi, Satluj, the water of these rivers is controlled by India, and here the water is semi-controlled, flows from Indian held Kashmir into the Pakistan territories. Clear? Well, now the water resources. That 80% of the water is used in agriculture, 94% of the water is consumed in agriculture. Clear? Out of the 80% is utilized in main crops. 80% जो है वो major crops हैं, जैसे wheat, like in sugarcane, such. Fine. Industry utilizes 3% of the water. Clear? In industry, there are so many processes like washing and cleansing and many other processes are utilized. Therefore, industry utilizes 3% of the water. Clear? Wastewater, 5.35% of the water that industry use, total water 3%, and out of that used water, wastewater that goes underground is 5.3%, 5.35%. Clear? And the water outflows into delta, कि जो दरियाओं का पानी जो है वो बहता हुआ डेल्टा इलाके में, जहाँ पे दरिया फैल जाए वहां पर that flows 30%. Natural लॉस 68%। तो पाकिस्तान के अंदर जो नेचुरल लॉस ऑफ द वाटर है वो 68% है। देयर आर सो मेनी वेज ऑफ द natural loss of the water, we'll discuss inshallah. Clear? So here it is the water utilization. Clear? In industry 94%, domestic use include washing and cleansing and cooking and much more. Fine. Dear students, water availability. Now the question is, we have learned in this year that the water available to Pakistan, clear, most of the water is that Pakistan is really a lucky country that had plenty of water resources. But unfortunately, due to the global warming, overpopulation, and several other reasons, the availability of the water, especially the fresh water, is scarce और short. पाकिस्तान में fresh water जो है वो उसकी बहुत ज़्यादा कमी हो चुकी है। Pakistan's population is 2.8% and Pakistan has just 0.5% renewable water resources की जैसे हम use कर सकें। Clear? Pakistan is 36th country where we have less renewable water resources. Clear? Whereas India 8th and Bangladesh is 12th. Water shortage. Countries ranked 14th among the 17 extremely high water risk countries of the world. कि पाकिस्तान दुनिया में जहां पानी की कमी है उसमें out of 17 countries where there is most the water crisis is where Pakistan is number 14th कि हम 14वें नंबर पर। Over 80% of the total population in the country faces severe water scarcity for at least 1 month of the year कि हर साल 80% जो आबादी है उन्हें हर महीने हर साल के किसी न किसी महीने में शदीद पानी की कमी जो है उसका शिकार होना पड़ता। Underground water is going down because of the severely overdrawn कि हम लोग पानी बहुत ज्यादा खींचते हैं, नल लगे हुए हैं, ट्यूबवेल्स, clear for irrigation, and people waste all this water. If this situation prevails, then by 2025 Pakistan may be facing lots of problem कि अगर हम ये पानी की shortage over drawn and we do not apply a well managed plan, then Pakistan may be in the severe crisis. Another reason of the water crisis is the strategical location of Pakistan and our relations with India, because most of the water, almost 78% of the water of the eastern rivers that flows from Indian occupied Kashmir into Pakistan, and India is making many dams, illegal construction of the dam, and trying to convert the water flow of Pakistan into their own areas, okay, and violating the World Bank Indus Treaty. Clear? So they are the major issues of the water shortage. Clear? Number one, that we are not developing resources. Number two, the underground water is going shallow, getting shallow, बहुत कम हो रहा है, उसकी वजह the overuse of the water. Clear? Over pumping of the water. And secondly, the political and strategical implications, they are posing a great danger for the people in terms of the water crisis. Dependence on single river system. Clear? Pakistan is depending on the rivers, clear, the eastern rivers and many minor rivers which are flowing into the other areas. Clear? Almost 95.8% of the total water comes from this river. Clear? But again, the same thing is that mismanagement, wastage of water, political and strategical contentions, they are suppressing this system कि पानी के जो रिसोर्सेज हैं वो बड़ी तेजी के साथ जो है वो कम हो रहे हैं. Okay, now dear students, let's discuss water issues. Low water productivity, that the groundwater is going down because of the less rainings, sometime overheating, and therefore the cost of pumping the water is more, whereas the water production is less. कि पाकिस्तान के अंदर जो cost of water है, जो नल और ट्यूबवेल लगाने में वो बढ़ रही है, जबकि जो पानी की मिकदार है वो कम हो रही है. Overuse of the groundwater. The Indus Basin water reserves, जो दरिया सिंध का जो पानी है, it is second most overstressed underground reserve in the world. कि दुनिया में दरिया सिंध के सिस्टम से जो पानी ज़ेरे ज़मीन ज़रखेज़ जो है वो स्टोर होता है, दुनिया में ये दूसरा बड़ा वाटर का ज़ख़ीरा है जो which is under stress, जिसे बहुत ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है. About 60% of the water is used in irrigation, 70% of the drinking water, के 60% वाटर इसका जो है वो इरिगेशन के लिए, 70% ऑफ द ड्रिंकिंग वाटर, इरिगेशन का तकरीबन 60% वाटर जो है वो इंडस बेसिन से, पीने के जो तकरीबन पीने का 70% वाटर comes from, and 100% water of the industry is extracted from the basin industry. और इतनी ज़्यादा मिकदार में जब पानी खींचा जाता है, then the levels and reserves of the water underground go shallow or little. Drinking water. People, the big cities are facing problems of the constant supply. The water to the big cities is often unsafe, polluted. There are many germs, clear, and unfortunately, the underground water of Pakistan, most of the areas is said that it is arsenic mixed. इसके अंदर मुख्तलिफ किस्म के arsenic, नीला थोथा जो है उसकी आमेजिश होती है, clear, and above all the rapid population and unplanned urbanization. It is another of the issues. The population of Pakistan is growing and growing, and it is estimated that Pakistan may be, according after these censuses, Pakistan may be the 5th largest populated country in the world. Clear? And this is how such a large number of people need water. Number one. Number two, unplanned urbanization. That people are building houses, they are breaking the water channels. Misal ke taur par, if you visit the areas of Rawalpindi and surrounding, you find that natural nalas and natural streams which were flowing into these areas, there you find the housing schemes. The flow of water is not proper. the rainwater is not being utilized or collected. So that is the common issue. ये एक बहुत बड़ा issue है. Climate change. Another big issue of the world is the climate change. Climate means कि किसी भी मुल्क के अंदर जो नेचुरल मौसमी तब्दीलियां होती हैं, that is called climate. The season, the weather condition of the country which settled for decades, clear, is called climate. And weather is the slight change in the condition. तो ये weather change है. ये weather जो है वो climate के अंदर किसी खास मौसम में अचानक सर्दी गर्मी इस किस्म की कोई सूरत हाल हो जाए तो weather होता है. For example, this is not the climate change. This is the weather change. जो अभी बारिशें आ रही हैं ये weather change है. Pakistan is among the list of the 10 most vulnerable countries of the world climate change. कि पाकिस्तान दुनिया के उन ममालिक में शामिल है जहां पर मौसम के असरात यानी क्लाइमेट जो है वो मौसमी तब्दीलियां बड़ी तेजी से रूनुमा हो रही हैं. They are happening in monsoon patterns. क्लियर, बारिशों को जो पाकिस्तान में बारिशें हुआ करती थी, they're changed. They do not happen in this. For example, often the winter monsoons from the last days of the December के जो आखिरी दिन हुआ करते थे, from 20th till the 1st of January, there were rains, frequent rains, but now they rarely happen. अब शायद नहीं होती. They have shifted. Receding glaciers. ग्लेशियर जो है वो बड़ी तेजी के साथ पिघल रहे हैं. Rising temperature. That temperature is rising and recurrence of the floods and floods from the areas flowing down and sufficing. जिस तरह के you have found that flood have hit Pakistan in 2010. Okay. And severe flood happened right now, clear, and droughts, and sometimes there is no rain, and the semi-arid areas of Pakistan suffer a lot. तो पाकिस्तान की जो semi-arid areas हैं, खास तौर पर जैसे southern Punjab, like the Potawar region, some regions in Sindh, and especially in Balochistan, there happen water crisis. लोग पानी को भी तरस जाते हैं and the life become challenging there. Fine. So climate change is one of the other major issues in Pakistan of the water crisis. Poor management, poor water management. It is really that Pakistan is the country where the water is not properly managed. Over 80% of the country's water resources are used by 4 major crops: rice, wheat, sugarcane, and cotton, which contribute only 5% to the GDP. कि भाई मुल्क का जो 80% वाटर है वो एग्रीकल्चर यूज करते हैं और एग्रीकल्चर में से ये जो फसलें हैं राइस, व्हीट, sugarcane, and cotton, they consume most of the water. Clear? Whereas their total percentage is 5%. But this is really one of the big issues because wheat and rice, they are one of the 2 major crops which people, they are the main food of the people of Pakistan. Fine. The productivity of these crops is low. Number 2 is that अगर ये crops जो हैं ये ज्यादा पानी लेती हैं, but their production is quite low. उनकी production increase करनी चाहिए. Canal water is immensely underpriced. Clear? जो पानी है which is being used by different resources, that is not paying. जो पानी लोगों को मिल रहा है, most of the people using the water and they are not paying the due price to the government. Clear? और उसके पास गवर्नमेंट के पास जो है वो इतने पैसे नहीं होते कि वो जो है वो दरिया डैम्स बना सकें, वो नाला बना सकें, वो खाले बना सकें. Clear? So therefore the water should be, well, dear students, water pollution. Another big issue is the water pollution. Every year about half of the 2 million produced wet tons of the human excreta go into the polluted water in Pakistan. के 2 मिलियन टन जो कूड़ा करकट है, ह्यूमन वेस्ट है, वो हम पानी में फेंक देते हैं. 60 million people are at the risk of exposure to the high concentration of arsenic in the groundwater on the display. जो दरिया सिंध के, ये जो पाकिस्तान के इलाके हैं, इनमें 60 मिलियन लोग जो हैं, 6 करोड़ लोग ऑलमोस्ट, they are drinking arsenic water, polluted पानी पीने पर मजबूर हैं. Waterborne diseases are leading to the cause of death and suffering in Pakistan. Waterborne diseases, ये liver की problems, some of the viral problems like gastric, liver issues, diarrhea, हैजा, cholera, हैजा, ये जो common बीमारियां हैं because of the water pollution. About 80% of the people in Pakistan suffer from the main diseases. वो किसी न किसी बड़ी बीमारी का शिकार है because of the inadequate water, कि उन्हें पानी मुकम्मल नहीं मिलता, और poor sanitation. Clear? In short, due to the water pollution, not just the irrigation, the crops are contaminated, but the people are suffering a lot. Students, I think it is enough for the current video. I hope you have learned about the water crisis, and the main reason of the water crisis. Thank you very much.